For the sake of this video, we are going to look at the potential pros of taking steroids and the effects they could have not only on professional athletes, but the whole sports world.
First, we would like to point out that the steroid use we are referring to is explicitly for professional athletes, ones who are playing at the top tier of their sport. This includes individuals who are also taking steroids as the primary source of their income for a fitness industry.
In fact, we both agree that if your particular reason for steroid use isn't going to pay your bills, it is not worth the side effects that may come down the road, although they have the potential to make you a more dominant athlete.
Also pointing out that we both agree that sports are for entertainment purposes only. We understand that athletes are role models for children, and setting an example for the youth is quite important. However, for years we have watched our favorite actors time and time again smoke cigarettes, drink, and also do drugs in movies without any major backlash from the audience.
The reason for this is that generally the audience can all agree that movies are for entertainment purposes only. According to Webster's dictionary, entertainment is defined as the amusement or diversion provided especially by performers. Through this definition, we believe that both athletes and actors fall into this category.
For most professional sports in the U.S., it mandates players to be over the age of 18. It is fair to say that we are dealing with adults when we talk about sports. We can compare the risk of head injuries in the NFL and the risk of performance-enhancing drugs. Clearly, that head injuries are far more deadly than steroids. Sure, the NFL is slowly making the game safer for the athletes by changing the rules and regulations of the game, but however, how many times have you been watching the game with an old-timer and an illegal hit gets flagged, and the old-timer screams, "Why don't we just play two-hand touch or put flags in the belts, eh?" This is a prime example of wanting to see the biggest and baddest players going head-to-head. They're not happy with the rules and changes that the NFL has made, and they're letting it be known.
Although the league is trying to make the necessary changes in order to protect the players, the fans are not happy about it, and sadly they are the driving force behind the economy of the league. Without happy fans, players, coaches, and players do not get paid. So you might be thinking, what if fans don't want steroids in the game? Well, if you were to look at the overall attendance of Major League Baseball in 1988, before the steroid era, the total number at the end of the season was roughly 53 million. Just 10 years later, the number rose to over 62 million. By 1998, both Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa were chasing a 61 home run season. Both men surpassed that, Sosa finishing with 66 and McGwire 70. The average fan isn't going to appreciate a pitcher's duel. However, everybody loves a 500-foot home run.
Unless you're taking steroids in a pill form, people are mainly going to take the drug through injection. This brings a whole new discussion up, passing around needles that could lead to disease and infections in the injected sites. However, this could all be avoided if steroids were allowed in professional sports by mandating these drugs through doctors and regulations. By taking these measures, we can ensure the safety of players, have a means of tracking their health, and make sure they are given the correct dosage. Also, we would see these steroids being taken off the black market, making the production of them safer.
Perhaps the biggest argument not allowing drugs into sports is the fairness argument. If only one player is using steroids and the other one isn't, there's a good chance the steroid user is going to perform at a higher level. We believe that if every athlete was given the same use of the drugs, the option was given to use the drugs, nobody's forcing you, then this will level the playing field and give everyone the same competitive edge. By doing this, it will make the game more exciting for fans. More touchdowns, more goals, more home runs. Making things more exciting for fans would cause attendance at events to increase, which will also increase the revenue for the owners. An argument made against this could be, what if a person playing in a steroid-filled league doesn't want to take steroids? For one, if that person has enough God-given talent and work ethic to keep up with people who are enhanced, then they belong in the league. For example, this would be a pitcher that could throw over 100 miles per hour. Steroids or not, an extremely limited percentage of the population will ever have the ability to launch a ball that fast. Likewise, all the steroids in the world aren't going to give you the hand-eye coordination to put the barrel of the bat on that very same ball.
In the future, if steroids became monitored and legal in professional sports, imagine the overall ability they could have 50 years from now. The amount of research and science that would go into making these steroids not only stronger, but safer could lead to major health benefits in the field. According to anabolicsteroids.net, yes, they do point out the negative effects too, steroids are given to HIV and cancer patients. Steroids have helped to restore appetite and have even helped regulate decreasing muscle mass in HIV and cancer patients. Due to this, patients have the opportunity to be in better health and have enhanced feeling of well-being. Our main point we are trying to take away from this is that given the chance of letting willing athletes experiment with the drug under supervision, professional athletes could see great things come out of this.
According to Dr. Norman Foss, director of the bioethics program at University of Wisconsin at Madison, drug testing policies in professional sports is completely illogical, and the placement of drugs on a banned substance list is quite arbitrary. So does everything else that athletes do to give themselves a competitive edge. Believe me, I could juice all day and night, and I'd never be able to hit a major league pitch.
Another documented effect of steroids is their positive impact on healing rate. The past steroid scandals involving professional athletes such as Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Roger Clemens contain repeated references to using the performance-enhancing drugs for speedy recoveries.
Keep in mind, people, we're talking about paid professional athletes only taking steroids under the supervision of doctors. Would you rather watch this?
It's on camera.
Or this?
Slightly open stance, feet fairly close together, crowding the play. The pitch, there's a long one to right field. Forget about it. This one is headed for New Jersey, high into the upper deck. Barry Bonds with a spectacular